So I've been thinking about this question a lot lately. What actually happens after we die? And I'm not talking about it in a scary way or anything. I just mean like if you really sit down and think about it, it's one of those questions nobody actually has a confirmed answer to, and nobody ever will, right? Because nobody from the dead will be able to come back and be like, okay, this is how it is after you die. But it still messes with people's heads because it's something every single person eventually goes through. So I just wanted to talk about it in a real way. So from what science understands, of course, everything we experience comes from the brain, of course, right? Your thoughts, your memories, your emotions, your personality, everything that makes you is connected to your brain working. So when the brain stops functioning completely, right, all of that stops too. Not in a you're trapped somewhere kind of way, more like the system that creates your experience of being alive is no longer running. And that's where science basically ends its explanation. Science can explain the body, science can explain how the brain works, but it can't fully measure what happens to you after awareness completely stops. Because awareness itself is a part of being alive. The part that's actually hard to wrap your head around is this. Whenever we think of like what is it like after death, right? Your brain always tries to imagine what it would be like darkness, silence, or floating in nothing forever. You just see nothing, you see darkness. But all of those are still forms of experience. Even nothing is still something you're experiencing in your mind when you think about it. So if there's truly no brain activity, then there's no awareness at all to even register anything. No time passing, no waiting, no feeling like you're gone, just no experience. And that's the part that's difficult for people to imagine because we only understand existence through experience. And there's different beliefs people have about this. Some believe in an afterlife. Some believe in reincarnation. Some believe there's something beyond this life. But me personally, I don't really believe in any of that. And I'm not trying to disrespect any religion, any beliefs people have. But, it's just because I don't want to live my entire life just believing something I'm not actually convinced is even true. Because I don't want to base how I live or what I expect after death on something I'm just hoping to exist, which is afterlife, which I never believed in. I honestly, truly believe that after you die, you basically no longer exist forever, Because imagine spending your entire life believing in something like an afterlife or reincarnation, and then when you die, you never even get the chance to realize it wasn't real. That's what makes it hard for me to just accept any belief like that without real proof. So for me, I just stay with not knowing what it's like than just filling it in with, an afterlife after I die, But I think the reason this question hits people so hard isn't even really about death itself. It's about time, because when you think about the fact that one day your awareness just stops forever, it makes you realize this moment right now is the only moment you actually get to experience. Every memory you have, every conversation you have with people, every person you care about and love in this world, every goal you're chasing, it all only exists while you're here to experience it. And that doesn't mean life is scary or depressing. It just makes it feel more real. Like you stop assuming you have unlimited time to do everything. And honestly, I don't think anyone really knows what happens after. Maybe there is something, maybe there isn't. Maybe it's something we can't even understand from our perspective right now until we experience it. But what we do know is this: you're here right now, you're aware right now, and this part is real and happening. So instead of trying to fully solve something nobody can prove yet, maybe the better focus is just paying attention to the time you actually have. The other day I saw a pretty disturbing video online. It was basically a baby or infant, you can call it, that was just born, and apparently it stopped breathing on its own. So a doctor had to bring it to this kind of table, put a kind of tube on the baby's nose and give it some CPR, and then the baby started breathing again, which is a blessing, that's a miracle, that's amazing. The comment that really stood out to me was someone was like, oh, the doctor didn't do anything, it was God that did that. That comment was absolutely BS. Now, listen, I have no disrespect towards God, Jesus, none of that. I know Jesus was a real person. People say that he died for our sins, a lot about that. I don't know much about it, but I disagree with what that person said. Because think about it, that baby stopped breathing on its own. So without that doctor's help of CPR in inserting air into the baby's nose, that baby would sadly pass away. So it's not just the baby's gonna stop breathing and all of a sudden starts breathing again. Oh, thank Lord, thank God. Without the doctor's help, the baby would not have survived. So I hate when people just get too much into those beliefs and all that, where they start masking it with reality of what the doctor really did, which is pretty messed up. Like imagine someone gets shot, for example, and they survived it in the head, a headshot, right? In reality, The headshot probably did not affect their lobe or whatever you want to call it, which is why they're alive. It's not just, oh God did that, because a lot of people get shot. You know, it's not a coincidence. It really just hits a certain spot. Because think about it, getting shot in the head is not a really common thing to survive. So for someone to shoot at your head, the chances of it really killing you is extremely high, maybe like more than 70% maybe. It's just that little small percent of people that survive it. Like how people can be paralyzed and become unparalyzed later in life. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about in this video for real. I know I haven't posted for a minute, but I'm telling y'all for it, I'm back at it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, like always, make sure to drop a quick sub and like this video. I really appreciate it. That's about it. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out, boys. Take care. Love y'all.